Hey, I'm Hailey.
And I'm Jessi.
And you're listening to Personality Hire,
the podcast where we have missed you, and I hope you've missed us. Did ya?
Don't answer that.
It's not rhetorical.
It's not.
Say it out loud, wherever you are.
Say it out loud, right here in the car. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
that was really sweet.
We missed you too.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we are back from our 2-week summer break. You know, some might say it wasn't long enough. And to those people, I say, keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
But for us, it was too long.
It was too long. It was too long. I was starting to talk to myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
Do you know that, like, everybody, I believe, has a podcast in their heart?
Oh, I understand. I was like, oh, okay.
No, like everybody in their heart has a podcast. But I know all of my friends know that I have separate podcasts with them because I voice note the Dickens.
I recently learned this, but apparently this is common knowledge for a lot of people. But some people don't, whenever they're thinking through their daily lives, they don't have a narrative in their head that's like a voice narrating what they're doing or what they're going to say to someone or what their to-do list is or whatever. And that I can't. Like, what does it feel like in there? I just imagine a tumbleweed just like going back and forth in your noodle if you don't have a voice narrating your thoughts.
I don't understand
your life.
that. I don't understand that. But I think it's the same people who can do public math and who like to play games with long instructions at parties. Those are the same people.
Okay.
The people who don't hear a narrative in their head. They can do public math really well, which is a skill I wish I had.
Yeah.
And then a skill I don't envy at all or an attribute is wanting to play games with lots of instructions at a party.
We know you're not for that.
That is
if
a common... I have to sit and listen to your instructions, it's not a game.
That's just like it's a
job.
Personality hire lore at this point.
Yes,
like Hailey doesn't want to play your game.
No,
but I also
unless
think
it's like a fun game.
Unless it's a fun game.
With drawing. I like drawing games.
Yeah.
Guessing games.
I love traditional fun family night games that include drawing and guessing.
And I'm a huge fan of Jerry O'Connell.
Just take these notes. Take down the notes.
Take down
the notes that we're giving right now.
Yeah.
But also, really quickly, back to the not having a narration in your head thing. To your point about the same people that like the long games and the public math.
Yeah.
I also think these people are the people who maybe it just goes from the noggin to the mouth without any sort of like thought in between of how the person's going to receive the information.
Yes,
that might be the type of person too. And you know what? It takes all kinds. It takes all kinds of people to make the world go round.
And I have many of these people in my life who are like my dear friends, like very good friends.
They're probably not liars, and that's very appreciated.
They're not liars, and they don't exaggerate.
No, probably
because they don't have narratives going on.
Okay, so I think that makes me feel good a little bit about the fact that like we need these people. They're not crazy. In my mind, I immediately was like, oh, that's wild. But now I understand it's the people that kind of like keep the checks and balances going in the world around us.
Yeah.
That's the type of person. And I like that. I respect that.
There's also people who have never had deja vu.
I have that quite frequently.
I do
actually.
Too.
I really do.
I have deja vu all the time.
What's the deal there? Like,
I don't know.
But do you feel like it's because you have truly experienced something in another life, or that it's something that you need to take note of because it has a greater meaning for you, maybe moving forward in your future? Like, is it predicting something for you? Or how do you feel about it? Or do you just kind of like
deja vu right now? I feel like I've had this conversation before because I have. I'm kidding. No, but I do have deja vu, like in the sense of like I'll be walking in a certain spot and look down and see something that's certain, and it's not something like that I need to take note of. It's like a stick or something, and I'll be like, I've been here before.
I have
literally, but like mentally.
I have a little bit of that, but mostly I have deja vu of conversations.
It's conversations.
Last night I literally had a conversation with my husband and I said, well, I done told you this before. And I know that I hadn't, but deja vu. And I do have it often. Maybe it's because I am nuts.
What if it's the narrative in our head that we think we've said things before? We've already had these conversations. And that's why when we're having them, we're like, we've already done this.
Yeah.
And it's because we've already done this, but in our own heads with our own podcasts.
We talk too much. I think that's like the highlight here.
Yeah.
I do want to say quickly though, because I can't keep it inside. I cannot keep this inside. But I have a mantra on my spirit that I want to share, which is,
I need it.
Which is, don't ever lose hope. Don't ever lose hope in something that you know is meant for you. And I just want to say that because I'm going to be as specific without being specific at all as I can here. Hailey and I have said on this podcast that we were hoping to be cast in something. We have said that on this podcast. And then not going to lie, some time has gone by. We didn't hear anything. Hope. She didn't. Guess what? Your girl did. I had written it off a little bit.
But I'm used to this.
I had said, but you know what? I had also said, this is it's something that it just wasn't meant to be. Let's just keep moving it forward. Was I a little bit peeved? Because obviously we're meant for really great things, as you'll find out. Yes. But I want to say, as of this week, this opportunity has resurfaced. And it looks like it's going to happen, baby. It looks like it could happen.
It does look like it's going to happen. I mean,
everything is always still up into the air until it happens, right? Like you need it to happen first. But I just want to say, if there's something in your life that you feel like may not happen for you, or that you've written it off, or time has gone by and you're like, it must not be happening any longer because too much time has flown through. No, don't ever give up hope for something that's meant for you. That's all I want to say.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what's about to happen.
Me or the person? Wait, because I know I don't.
No, to you the listener. If you ever give hope,
right, okay,
you have no idea what you're talking about because you just don't know the future.
Right, that's so true.
And you're not having deja vu.
You're not,
unless you are.
So just don't give up hope. Hold on for one more day, as Wilson Phillips might say to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hailey, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I literally I don't know what to tell you right now, except I have like 3 subjects bouncing around in my head that are like literally ping-ponging off the walls of the sides of my brains.
Okay.
I'm gonna nail them out here. I'm holding up 3 things.
Fwingles.
For our listeners and not our viewers, I'm holding up the number 3 with my hand. Number 1, Gypsy Rose is pregnant. Number 2, there is arsenic in our tampons.
Carcinogenics
in our tampons.
The same,
but not my tampons, because I've already known about evil tampons and I've been trying to find good ones. Number 3, there's this man on Instagram, and I'm not going to say his name because he probably listens to this.
Probably,
not even.
Oh, really?
I'm not even going to lie. This man. And I'm starting to get a little scared.
Wait, is this a man that you know in life?
I don't know this man. Okay. I might know this man. That's the thing. Oh. So I've had this man since it started happening like a little before we announced that we were going to start a podcast.
Okay.
But I have this man that doesn't have a profile picture on Instagram. He has a first and last name, but it's clearly a fake name.
Okay.
And he knows way too much info about me. Like info about me that I think like, I just think you would have to know me to know some of this. And this man replies to a lot of my Instagram stories, and I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'm going to show Jessi. But this man talks to himself in my DMs.
Okay.
I say absolutely nothing. Never responded.
Well, I want to ask though, the purpose of bringing this up is because do you want me to put the fear of God in him right now? Like do I need me to give him a message if he's listening?
I just want to talk about like, why do men feel so comfortable talking to themselves?
Well, I can't help myself now. I do want to say that if this person, if you know, if any of this stuff applies to you and Hailey's talking about you, stop it. Stop it.
Okay, This is July 13th of this year.
Oh, gosh.
Love it. You do great in indie films. I'm calling that fine as HE double hockey sticks. Start an OnlyFans.
Oh, no. What?
Morning queen fire emojis. You are perfect. What you doing aside from being real cute?
But also this
BB,
person.
Talk to me.
This is a.
Yes, put that hair up. Because I think in the Insta story, I was putting my hair up. Like I was talking and like putting my hair up.
This is a Finsta for sure.
That was legit sexy. Hi, beautiful. How are you? How are you? So funny and sexy at the same time.
Yeah. So he just.
What's your Halloween costume? Mother. Yeah. Single ? Hot dang.
So
hey, beautiful. Let's play. Your voice is so sexy. Single ? Okay. I'm just gonna scroll down.
Yeah, I think
he says this sends me a lot. Your lips are pure perfection.
Okay, so but my question though
if Amanda Bynes had stayed off drugs, she would only be half as hot as you. That, my friends, is a compliment. That's a compliment.
Well, I just think that this is, I don't know. I also think that.
Also, on Father's Day, when I posted, my daddy said, Chuck made a fine one. Don't ever disrespect my father. Hey, gorgeous.
Okay.
My sweet gawks.
So,
God.
But is this like the only person that has this, that does this to you like regularly or?
Regularly,
okay.
Yes.
I do think though, it's a lot of people with like probably a larger following, like maybe like models or whatever. They might be like, oh, this is just like my life. I just like live this life constantly.
But I'm not there yet. And this is like almost, this is a year.
So we just
July 31st. It was when he first messaged me. He has 9 followers, 0 posts. He follows me.
Okay. Well,
let's see. How many people he follows?
I would like to say, let's hit the blockity block button.
No, because
shall we?
Nope.
Why?
Because I learned in my doxing situation that you want to keep tabs on these people. The guy who worked for the FBI told me that.
Okay. So we just aren't going to respond.
We just don't respond.
But he can see that you're looking at them, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So is that a good strategy or no?
Yeah, because I need to see them. I need to make sure he's not sending me like pictures of myself that he's taking from outside my window, you know?
Okay. All right. Well,
but I just want you guys to know what kind of person?
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's talking to himself. He has a podcast of his own with me, except I never speak.
It's going down in a DM. Okay. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyway. I will say, I don't know if what's crazier, that or that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is with child.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I think.
Oh my gosh.
And it's also, someone did the math on TikTok and she was definitely like, hadn't even like separated from her ex.
I guess that's kind of what I'm alluding to happened. Is that I think that the timeline is not timelining for me on that. Kind of crazy. But also like, if I'm her, I kind of just want to like live my life. I think it's been thrust upon her to have a public persona, but she can choose not to have that life if she wants to. Like she can choose that. Like I think she leaned into it when she got out because she didn't really have a choice. But now I feel like she can kind of lean into a more public or private life if she wants to. But also, I've never had to do something to make my mother leave me alone and then spend time in prison and then get out. I don't know. I've never had to do that. I don't know what that does to your psyche.
Here's a crazy thing. That this woman has 3 men that would absolutely do anything for her.
But so do you. I'm just saying she's not picky. Like you also have at least 3 men.
I'm just saying like this is crazy. Like on a public platform, we're all watching this and we're like, I'm not saying that like these, I'm just saying there's a lot of people on this earth that maybe they don't do public math, that like games with lots of instructions. What I'm saying is like it's showing me how many people are like okay with being outwardly a mess.
Well, also like the messy, difference between you and Gypsy is that Gypsy's going to respond to that man that you just had in your DMs. Like that's the difference too with the type of person, because she is going to be able to be like, I have a little roster and this man's a part of it. The crazy man in your DMs. But that's probably one of many differences between you and her.
No, I'm not saying like, oh, I wish I had 3 men that were, I hope that's not coming off. I'm saying that there is this many people. These are 3 men and 1 woman who all act a fool.
Yes.
And then there's so many more.
Yeah, I think majority of people act a fool. I think majority of people think that I think more people think that what she's doing is normal than more people that think that it's crazy.
That's not right.
I think that's so. I do. And I also feel like she is a product. So. I think that she's also a product of like, she's been in this like bubble, held captive for all these years that I
literally
think
over and over.
It might just her whole life, that it might be now time that I'm coming up. She's living her poppy life with Branch. Speaking of Branch, I'm so mad at him. I'm still so mad at him.
The world tour is ruined.
The world tour is ruined and I'm still so mad at him. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Mazel tov to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Rose, yeah. I hope that it's a good pregnancy.
Yeah.
She's coming out.
I don't know if she should be becoming, I'm so sorry, becoming a mother after all of that. We need to heal.
We do, but maybe this is part of the healing process. Again, I'm not her. Maybe becoming a mother, the type of mother she wished she had, would help heal a part of her. Sometimes that could be so. Again,
that could be so. No, I'm telling you that kids don't need that.
But
no, I'm saying it. Kids don't need that.
Don't need what?
Don't need parents who need to use them to heal.
But what if it's not them using it? What if this is part of her being like, I've always wanted to be a really great mom, and like that's still her right to do so.
She literally got out of prison like 6 months ago.
She's not young. Even. She's not that young anymore. If she wants to have a kid, I think that she should. Well, I still think that if she wants to have a kid, like this could be a good time for her.
Okay, I'm against it.
I don't think
I mean, do it. Your body, your choice, for sure. But I'm just saying, if anyone has just gotten out of prison, you're like, should I get pregnant right now? And you've been in prison, and then before that, in a horrible situation, I have so much empathy for her. I want her to live her life. I want her to heal.
I want her to do what she needs to do the same way I want everybody to do what they need to do. I definitely feel like you can't tell a woman
we definitely
what they can't or can't do with their body.
I'm not telling her that.
Well, I'm just saying your opinion on it is totally fine because that's your opinion on it, which is like, that's fine. But I don't think that we can say that like we can't tell her to can or cannot have a baby. Yeah.
I'm saying, and I didn't say that. I don't believe I didn't say that. We could roll the tapes. I believe I said you shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I know you are.
I think, and also like, I don't really care if someone would get mad at me right now for saying, you let people do whatever they want. Okay, well then we have situations like with people raising their kids on social media, using them to like, and we're like getting mad at them. Like, I don't know. I just think that sometimes we don't protect kids enough. And I don't like the situation. And I think I don't want to also not share my opinion when we bring it up because I'm not going to I don't know. I just think it's real.
Yes. And I said, yeah, you are totally in your right to have an opinion on it. The same way my opinion on it is that I think that it could be a wonderful heal her. It could be a wonderful start to her new life. It could be a very wonderful start to her new life. I think that it could be
by the way, a baby is always a gift. Or it could be especially if you want the baby.
Happy thing for her. And this could be the start of the life that she's always dreamed of. Honestly.
Which I would love that for her.
Same. Then that's my opinion on it is that maybe this could be the start of the path of being who she's meant to be.
Yeah.
And not who her mom wanted her to be. I think
she's going to be a good mom, by the way.
Yeah, she really could be.
I really do think that. I just don't like the mess that it's starting out in. But also, part of the mess
isn't her fault, though. You know, like
it's definitely not. That's what I'm saying. Is like this poor child was, in a situation with her mother that was so bad, and then immediately after, like she didn't have any like wiggle room. It was like straight to prison.
Well, I will say the bar is very low for her to be a good mother if she's going to compare herself to her own mom. So that's good. That's like good news. The bar is on the ground.
I don't think she'll compare herself to her mom. I don't think she will. I hope
I don't know how you could. There's no like what? No. Where's the comparison?
No, yeah, like you would have to be doing
evil things. Evil. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely evil.
Wait, what was the second thing that you brought? Oh,
tampons.
The tampons.
Tampons are evil.
Tampons. I'm going to tell you, I know that tampons have these chemicals in them and they're not good for you.
Bleach.
I did not know the literal facts on the type of, the level of lead or arsenic or things like that are in these tampons. I try to use organic cotton when I can. I don't always. Sometimes I do go for a Tampax. Sometimes I do.
No, I will like go out of my way, and this is so disgusting, and actually it's not that disgusting. It's just like a menstruation. But like I will use pads until I like my honey pot. I use honey pot.
Yeah.
And I will use those. And trust me, it'll only be for an hour when I'm zipping my way to Target. But Target is like one of the only places that sells honey pot tampons. Yeah. And like Cora, you can find some places, but like Walgreens, like Publix, like you can't find like these like healthy, safe brands like Cora.
Yeah.
I look up and I have this one app. It's called Yuka, and you can scan things and it'll show like their, like what their ratings are. And so I'll do that if I need tampons and I can't go to Target because where I'm at in Atlanta, like you kind of have to like go to, You have to get on the interstate. Like you have to do all this stuff to get to a Target. And I will just suffer for that
I think that it's interesting to me because the way that you just described the fact that some people, what you're talking about too on some level is access, right? Like not everyone has access to these organic options or options that are better.
Imagine
tampons.
If you're in like Tuscumbia, Alabama.
So the access is one issue, driving, being able to drive to actually go get them, but also the cost is an issue as well in terms of access to these types of products.
More expensive,
and it's very similar to kind of like, let's say again, you live in a food desert where you aren't within easy distance to a grocery store, or the grocery store that you have in your neighborhood is not healthy. There aren't any fresh produce options, whatever. It's so similar that people who are going to continue to struggle with having to not have access to healthy food, not have access to healthy products for their bodies. It's all about access and providing people their basic human right of being able to have options that are within their means to live a healthy life. And it's so frustrating that even though we have this information, it's becoming more relevant that these tampons are not healthy. That doesn't mean shit for people who either can't afford it or don't have access to it at their local grocery store. Like, what do you want me to do? Just like bleed through whatever?
Yeah.
Or like, I'm sure there's like Diva cups and all those types of things. But again, access, cost. It's so crazy too that I don't, and I need to look into this more before I speak to it, but what are the regulations on these products? Like what has slipped through the cracks on the regulations of these products where they're just throwing that crap up for us to use? That's wild. And I know TSS there's lots of warnings about TSS all over all these products. And I guess maybe that's kind of like what toxic shock is, obviously. Is your body
shocked by the toxicity?
Your body's having all these toxins in it. But what the hell? It's crazy.
I mean, I just feel like America doesn't really care
about women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's something you and I can very much agree on. Like is that our country really,
it's not set up.
The world doesn't care as much about women.
Yeah.
I think that we're making changes in that vein, but it's kind of like
well, we have people talking about it, which is very important.
But I think that that's just like it also, well, this is a whole other rabbit hole, but I have to pay for a product that I have no control over needing. I need this product and I have to pay for it. And my options are put a bunch of toxins inside of you or pay a heavy cost to have something that's a little bit better for you, a better option.
Yeah.
And that'll make the math.
Also, by the way, those better options are less absorbent because they are more natural. So you have to buy more of them and they're more expensive. So like when I would like need one box normally, and like one box would get me through 2 months. Now one box gets me through 1 month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of being a woman.
I also, speaking of tampon talk with Hailey and Jessi,
our male listeners are going to love this.
Well,
all 4 of them.
You're welcome. We're dropping knowledge bombs.
Yeah, you need to know this.
I have been doing something since I moved out of my parents' house that I just like, I know it's bad.
You flush your tampons. Jessi, you told me this, and this is psychotic.
I flush my tampons.
You also can't, even if the wipes are flushable, guys, I know the males need to listen to this because I know some males, they wipe their little booties and then they flush the booty wipes down and they say they're flushable. No wipes are flushable.
We don't have those. We used to have the booty wipes for my husband until I said, we're not doing this anymore. That's very wasteful. Can you just wipe better?
Bidet.
Just like, sure, any of those things, like whatever. But I've stopped, but sometimes I forget. It's muscle memory, and and the thing is I wasn't raised that way because we had a septic tank because I lived in a more rural area in high school and middle school.
So you just got wild.
I moved out on my own.
And you were like, I can do whatever I want.
And I thought my parents were being strict about the septic tank. And so when I moved out on my own, I was like, there's no septic tank to be seen.
In those little old pipes.
Oh, trust me, I understand now. But now I have to reverse my habit. Old habits die hard. Especially when you drop your tampons in the toilet. I got to reverse it.
Yeah.
It's hard. I've been trying and I'm doing better. And one day I will get there. Maybe when I hit menopause.
Maybe by the time
my
Scooby
might be. Oh well, I'm going to teach her the truth.
Oh yeah,
Scooby. I'm going to say you truly cannot flush this. Yeah. I'm just going to say nowhere in the world allows this.
Yeah.
She's going to have a different outlook than I do. That's how I'm doing better. And
Gypsy Rose.
She can do the same.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing also, to Hailey, but I'm like, imagine that Hailey is the world and the earth. And I'd like a public apology.
Oh, for the plumbing?
The tampons and the plumbing.
Whoever's pipes you're clogging up.
I know.
That's who you apologize to.
My own.
Not. Yeah. I don't know. I just imagine them all meeting up at one spot.
And they're gonna say huge. It's like a clogged artery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, also going back to Gypsy Rose again, talking about things that like she's gonna do different for her daughter, like, you know, not flushing her tampons.
Not destroy her life.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Not flushing her tampons. She had this TikTok this one time about like making an energy drink in prison, and everybody was dogging her for it. They were like, just go get his like blah blah, and I was like, I actually find this incredibly interesting. And she took coffee, some Kool-Aid powder, coffee powder and Kool-Aid powder and something else. And she mixed it together. And she goes, we didn't have Celsius or like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, this is how we'd make our energy drinks in prison. And guess what? The first thing I thought was, I don't want energy in prison. Unless you need to be like, but I feel like Gypsy had a good like friend group. She seemed like... I don't know. She seemed like she didn't hate it.
She had a little girl gang in there. She might not have hated it because she wasn't around her mom anymore.
And she also... I don't know. Don't they separate prisoners by crime-ish?
Like by offense? I don't know.
Crime-ish. Like there's like, you know. But I feel like women's prisons are better than male prisons.
I have no
I don't know.
idea.
Now I need to look this up.
I do know there was a documentary that I watched one time about female prisons. And the one thing I found really interesting was the way that they make cosmetics. Yes. And the things they use. And I was like, that's really interesting. Eyeliner, blush. Like, you know, a lot of it was stains, like blush stain and lip stain. And all that was interesting. I love that. It was cool.
I know that's a weird thing to love, but I'm like, I love that.
Well, they still like reclaiming. Well, they're like, I want to feel like myself. I'm gonna figure out a way to make myself feel like myself. In the pokey.
In the pokey. Speaking of prison,
yes,
I heard the story on TikTok.
Okay,
this was real. That this woman went to prison because her daughter did die. Because of ketamine was in her system. She was like 3. But what happened, or maybe she was like 5 or 6 actually. What happened was the kid went over to the neighbor's house and had dinner. And the dad was like a dentist. And he had access to ketamine. So him and his wife would do ketamine like recreational. And Lord. I guess the kids got into it. And so this kid died, but they didn't prove it. But then later down the road, the dentist has an affair with his wife, so they're getting a divorce. So the wife walks into the police station and was like, "I'm pretty sure that kid got into my husband's ketamine because she was throwing him under the bus." And this woman was in prison for 3 years for her own daughter's death.
But wow, I think honestly, say all you want about Kim Kardashian. But I will say,
I thought we were going Kim Possible. I was like,
Kim K. But I do think that one of the activism things that she does is kind of what you're referring to, is of people that are wrongfully charged with crimes.
Yes,
standing up for them and like helping to prove their innocence, which I think is interesting. And that woman, oh my gosh,
isn't that terrible, crazy?
Horrible, awful.
She like couldn't prove that it wasn't her. You know,
oh my gosh,
but it was horrible. Her kid, and it happened kind of on her. I mean, the child died on her watch.
Also, recreational ketamine.
It happens.
You know what I think? Well, okay, we have.
And is ketamine horse tranquilizers?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I don't think I would ever do that.
Our friend who also does the theme song for our podcast.
Yes.
Janine the Machine.
Yes,
Colby Janine. She's incredible. She posts on TikTok. We love. She's so cool.
Amazing.
Go check out her TikTok.
Coolest,
like the best. But she just went on an ayahuasca like retreat. Yes.
Retreat. That's what
and she did ayahuasca for the first time and kind of talked about the experience, and it looked incredible and it looks so interesting.
I don't know. Kristen Cavallari went on one too. Or I don't know if it was ayahuasca, but it was something like that. And she said like she's been healed, like from her brother's passing.
I don't know
like,
if I would ever do it, but the process. Well, that's because I'm a control freak, and I hate to be out of control in my body. But people that can relinquish that control to a drug like that in a controlled and safe environment, I find so cool.
I do too, because I also think it's like, I think like more of those. I watched that one documentary on Netflix a few years ago about mushrooms and like their healing powers and whatever. And by the way, I'm just going to say this because I know Groot listens to this. I do not do drugs.
Same, Groot.
And I'm not kidding.
No, same.
Like, I'm not just saying that for my dad. I actually do not do drugs. Same. I do drink wine. And I love a margarita.
Same.
But I do not do drugs.
I'm so happy we're making that abundantly clear here. I also
sounds like I dabble with
I also do not do any drugs.
I do find it interesting that perhaps mushrooms could be a way of healing like PTSD, like all this stuff.
I feel the same way about THC and weed. Yeah.
And the government won't get into it because of big pharma, which I could totally believe, even though I don't want to do a mushroom right now. I'm telling you, I think that what I learned and what I watched, from the TV, like all of that, and I want to say LSD. I think I'm kind of forgetting, guys, but it was a hallucinogen,
acid.
And it was proving like the brain, like they were doing brain scans and everything, and was showing where the trauma was healed in the brain. Yeah. And I thought it was like so awesome that these people just like could like go live their life back to a normal state. And I think like I mean, I'm working with this women's group again, and I was working with them before, and it's kind of like a business base. And part of the struggle of it is it's kind of all put on you. It's like, if you want this thing, then you have to go do it. Same with acting. But I think like the problem is we have all this stuff built up of limiting beliefs of like what we thought we could do. And like, I'm always preparing for the worst, like doomsday, right? So I'm like, well, I'm going to send in these 5 auditions, but I won't hear back. And that's the way I've been like saving myself like all these years. And if I do hear back, happy thing. Like it's so exciting, but I don't like wrap myself around the result. And that also keeps us from achieving the bigger things in life.
Yeah, totally.
And so I hear about this stuff and I'm like, oh, my brain like will not, like I've got to retrain my brain to not, worry about my car, worry about the leak in my hallway, like worry about these things, because even though they're there and they're happening, I just have to believe that like money is going to come.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that the brain is so interesting. So if I don't have major trauma in that way, but I'm still feeling that way, imagine someone with like major PTSD who's gone off to war, or someone who's been through something absolutely horrible, and they get this relief. Sorry, there's a fly.
No, I think that is like the number one benefit of this is to kind of like move through and past and put in its place the trauma that you have, which I find really like so incredible. Like, could you make a choice, have this trauma sit heavy with you forever and have to move through it and handle it every day in every decision you make in every way that you move through your life, or have this insane experience with a naturally occurring substance and break through and then have your life be completely different because of that? So like, cool. That is so cool.
I know, that is really neat.
I just think that I would be like, I don't trust anybody in this circle to catch me if I fall. I don't like, what if I start throwing up? Are you going to help me?
I'd be in like a padded room. Like I need to be in a padded room.
Yeah.
Like there's friends of mine who have like done shrooms, and I'm not, I don't think of blowing up anyone's spot. I'm not saying anything.
You're saying a friend.
I'm thinking
we just
out
had a friend.
Yes, I've had, but they've talked about like you have to do it with someone who you really trust, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I trust.
I've had friends who've had like guides, like people who aren't on
guide.
shrooms.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Like they're people who like, you do shrooms. I'm not going to do shrooms. I'll just be here with you, protecting you.
I mean, and that's,
then I'm like, what if I become like the Incredible Hulk?
That's what I'm saying. What if I unleash
start breaking stuff?
I think really deep down, I'm afraid I would unleash a part of myself that even I don't know what that part is. Like, and it would come to be and come to light this part of myself that maybe I've been And yeah, or that maybe I haven't ever tapped into, and this other person that's my guide is experiencing this other side of myself that I don't even know exists. And then when I come out of it, they're like, bro, you're crazy.
You
like,
can speak Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. And me like, what? And I don't, sometimes maybe things are better left unknown, but maybe not, which is why the people
again,
that are brave,
these limited beliefs, like when there's like this bravery, or there's something inside of us that we haven't allowed ourselves to be because we're scared.
Right. Oh, I think that a lot of that has to go back with people talking about shadow work and doing that work in the darkness of yourself that you might not actually know about yourself. And, at this point, I think that takes a lot of bravery, and I'm not that brave yet. And I know that about myself at this point. I don't have a lot of bravery when it comes to like extending into the darkness of my psyche to understand myself better right now. I just got to keep the train on the tracks in this moment. Maybe in a year, ask me, it might be different, but I just got to keep it.
See, and I feel like I'm in this place where I have no other choice. I have to break free from whatever the heck I'm doing now, because I feel so incredibly trapped in my life right now that I'm like, I have two choices, because I do have this space right now. I have to either do it or I have to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I need to either take these risks and do this stuff, but it is so scary and stressful and like constant state of cramping right now of like trying to take all these risks. But if I don't, then am I going to be on the same cycle that I've been on? And no offense to me, but I'm at an age where I do not want to be doing what I'm doing right now. Mm-hmm. No offense to me, because I would like to be doing that in my personal life.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
I.e. taking care of kids.
Right.
But I love my kids, by the way.
I also think though too, you can take risks at a lot of different, when the road forks for yourself in different areas of your life, you can take risks at many different like junctures of your life. You don't have to have like a complete overhaul, but I do think for where you're at specifically, it has been a long time coming of a big change, a really big change. And so I think that I think the bravery that you're doing right now, doing the work that you're doing, is like, it's necessary, and it's definitely like the right thing to do for you.
Yeah. And it's horrifying too, because it's like uncovering things again that I'm just like constantly, I've been tired, but like in a different way. Like this is, I mean, it's an interesting tired, because now I'll get on these calls like for Zoom and stuff, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like completely overwhelmed. Whereas before I was a little bit more like naive, and I was like, this is great, we're going to do these things. But now I realize all the work it's going to take from me, and I'm already exhausted. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday, one of my babies is out of town in New York, probably becoming a star, because both my babies are stars that I nanny. But she's off being a star in New York. And so I had the opportunity to spend the day content creating for styling. And oh my gosh, guys, so many hours of filming, so many hours. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this when I do have a full week of nannying, and I'm going to have to make it work. Just like how we have to make the podcast work, and we want to make these things. Yeah. By the way, like it sounds like I have to. No, I have to. Like in the way of like, I have to. Like
we get to do the podcast because we want to.
But I mean, I have to in the way of like I can't not.
Yeah.
Like I want to.
In order to make a change, I'm
excited.
Got to do it. Yeah. We're not nervous.
Exciting. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. Oh my gosh, there's a leaf blower.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks guys.
I bet you guys can't even hear it.
No, they probably can't hear it. But yeah, I think it's such a scary thing, and I wonder like if people who do. Okay, sorry, I thought that was a garbage truck too. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting hit from all angles. I wonder if people who do ayahuasca and mushrooms and whatever, like to heal, I wonder if they like come out and they're like, I'm going to start a new business.
Maybe. For sure.
Probably not right away, but like.
Or I have clarity on my path forward, period. Yeah. Like whatever that might be. Maybe I have clarity on who I'm meant to be. And if that means a new business, or that means a new partner, or that means a new, like whatever that is, like I'm sure that's the point, is the clarity of it all. I think that I'm so interested in right now learning about, we've talked about this, about like mediums and stuff like that, but I am pretty interested right now in learning about my path forward, not what it holds for me necessarily in the future, but understanding if I'm on a path that leads me to feeling fulfilled. I'm really interested in fulfillment right now and contentness, not necessarily like happiness all the time, but I'm so interested in learning more about how I can maintain a level of being content that keeps me fulfilled. Yeah. And so that kind of like wanting that clarity on the path forward, I'm sure that's a big driver for people to do these types of like ayahuasca trips. And also it's a big driver of people that want to be in these kind of like cool groups that you're in where other women are going through similar changes in their life. Maybe not similar changes, but they all want change.
We're all kind of doing different paths, things at different points, but
a similar goal to change something.
Yeah.
Which I think is
it's really encouraging.
So cool. I
don't know how I would do it without watching other people do it too. And we all have different like lives. I will say like it's encouraged me more to like work harder sooner because I realize how much time I actually don't have. Like not like in my span of life, but like I don't have a lot of time because I'm working so often.
You mean like bandwidth time?
Yeah, like actual time on the clock.
Yeah.
I don't have as much time as most people do, which means that I need to pick up the pace. I need to pick up my knees, high knees, high knees. We hate high knees, but they gotta do it. We gotta do the high knees.
We gotta work late because we're singers.
Yes, we're working late because we're singers, and that's that me espresso. Mm-hmm. And also like with auditioning and stuff, like I've gotta just figure it all out and like do it at all hours, but that won't be forever. And so I don't know if anyone else, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are listening who feel this way, who are doing something new in their life. And it doesn't have to be so big as a career change or like, you know, I don't know, ayahuasca. But I just feel like sharing that part with other people does help because it makes you feel a little less exhausted when you know, okay, like other people are experiencing the same exact exhaustion and like fear, because I keep on trying to remind myself when it comes down to it, like with making content and stuff for styling, what I've been fearful of, which I've had to point out that it's fear, is that it's not authentic, because anything that I put out for acting is authentic to me because like acting is my dream and you know, I'm doing it. And like, so when I post something, I'm like, look, I did this. Like, this is something I'm authentically doing. Because sharing my love for styling is so new for me, besides just showing my cute outfits online, it's just based in fear. And I've had to point that out. Like, why am I not doing this? Or why does this feel not right? And it's like, oh, because I'm just scared. Yeah. Because it's new. And now I'm showing people a new side of myself.
Yeah, totally.
The shroom side, except without shrooms.
The shroomless side.
Yeah, the shroomless side.
But how other people take in your new content, or how other people take in and process your new ventures or your changes or your risks, that is quite literally none
of our business.
It's not. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the other people, and it's not up to us to help change or shape how other people perceive us. It's not like that. It is just simply not. And also sometimes I think that we don't actually really know how we perceive our own selves too. Like I think that the way that we move through the world and we perceive ourselves and our actions is probably so different than how they are in actuality. Yeah. So again, none of your business.
It's none of my business what other people think of me.
It's really not at all.
And also, I'm so sorry. I kind of have to just keep dogging on myself, but not in a bad way. But I keep saying to myself, dude, you're pursuing a career in acting and you're afraid to post your love for styling. Like that's silly to me.
I have to say though, I don't interpret you being afraid of doing it. I'm just interpreting it as though like you're feeling your way through to see what's going to hit for you or not, or work for you, or how you want to communicate it.
Yeah, but I do have the fear of how people are perceiving that.
You do? Okay.
I do. Like every time I look back at all of this, I'm like, oh, it's fear. Okay. It's fear every time. But again, working through that trauma. Yeah. It's not trauma, guys.
It's not. It's just, I think, working through too that everyone's human. And as much as I love to preach, Like, it does not give one flying F. You shouldn't care what anybody thinks about you ever. Not ever. But I still think that it's still like, especially in a social media age, pressing post on something, even if it's fun or authentic to you.
I know, it's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
I've been trying to post more on social media just because it's fun for me. And I forget that it's fun. And then I overthink it. And then I'm like, actually, this is something that's fun for me.
And it's fun.
And it can be really fun. And I don't think I'm going to be the next, insert your favorite influencer here, but it's fun.
It's
to
fun.
Post
and
a little TikTok.
By the way, I love when I watch people on TikTok and stuff that have like no followers, or like it'll say one like, and I'll like end up watching their story time. And I'm like, oh, like, because I'm just scrolling and it'll pop up and I won't notice how many likes or how many shares or whatever that it'll have. And so I'll think it's someone that everybody's seen, and it might be a popular TikTok with a new popular sound. So I'm listening, and it's an interesting story. So Beth from Mississippi, we're friends now.
Yeah.
Like I loved you shared your story about your finds at the Dollar General. Like, I don't know. It's interesting and it's fun, and you should share it.
I love Dollar Tree videos, by the way. I think I've said that before on this potty podcast, but I do love a Dollar Tree.
It's fun.
Fan.
It's an adventure.
It's fun.
I used to go before it was $1.25. Now I feel
nothing's quite $1 anymore.
No, you always spend like 25.
C'est la vie.
And no, I don't want $1.
C'est la vie.
It was like an anniversary of that song the other day. I just want to let y'all know. But also, you guys need to start posting and just live, laugh, love with it, because it's funny. Also, if you see someone posting TikToks and like that they're new to TikTok or anything, I get so weirded out when it says, like, when I look at my videos. And so this is for you, the people listening who will never hear this, because I know they don't listen to this pod if they're not pressing like on my TikToks.
Oh, but it says they viewed it?
Yes. I'm like, ooh.
And they scrolled on by.
But every time I see your video, even if it's like a video you accidentally posted,
you give it up.
I give it a like.
Yeah.
I give it a like.
I have,
because I'm supporting you.
I have one final thought rattling around in my brain
that
I have to say out loud before we leave. Does anyone remember Cleopatra coming at ya, Cleopatra coming at ya, na 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 na, the person you are, keep on dreaming that you'll be a superstar.
What is this?
It was a Disney Channel thing, I think. Okay,
no, that wasn't. Cleopatra?
I think the group is called Cleopatra. I think it was three sisters. They're British girl group called Cleopatra, Disney? And it was Disney. Cleopatra coming at ya.
I feel like that's
Cleopatra.
Something I would have loved.
And then the girl's riff, she's like, hey, let me hear you say it, Cleopatra. That's way more than I intended to sing.
Yeah, you sing the whole song and I love it.
It's so good. And I think about it all the time. Cleopatra coming at ya. Just because you didn't put the right search in and it came up.
What is it?
Put
Cleopatra Disney.
Cleopatra coming at you, Disney. Are we going to end on
this
note?
Look. Coming at you, Disney.
Okay. Yeah, there they are. There they are. Cleopatra coming at you. Anyway, I highly encourage everyone to go find that song on Spotify. They're still coming at me. They're still coming at me.
Also, that's literally, the band is called Cleopatra Coming at You. I thought it was Cleopatra.
I think it's just Cleopatra. The coming at you part is the song. So I think they're just playing into it. It's Cleopatra.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know if this is the note we want to end on, but this is where I brought us, and I apologize about that.
Well, I love it. I love girl bands, and maybe our next podcast will be about girl bands.
Maybe when I go on an ayahuasca trip, I'll find out
if you were in a girl band.
I actually was. I've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you puked. Or no, you didn't puke. I thought you puked because you had your Starbucks.
No, I didn't Ralph, but
it was me.
It was you.
It was me who puked on the plane on the way home from Boston because I had one of those Starbucks things, but you also had one of those Starbucks drinks.
I did, to coat my throat before singing lessons. Yes. Any great singer drinks a lot of dairy before they go into a singing lesson. Anyway, thank you for listening. We're happy to be back. Obviously, we had a lot of tangents because we are so excited to be back in action.
We're happy for Gypsy Rose. No one please come at me. I just think that, man, that would suck after being trapped your whole life. I'm worried for her and her daughter, but I also pray for the best for both of them.
It was coming from
most seriously.
It was coming from a place of love. Yes. I think everyone understands that. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please leave us a little Apple review. Please hit the stars on Spotify. And we can't wait to see you next Thursday. And just so you know,
share this with a friend.
Share this with a friend. Just so you know, season 1, it's wrapping up soon, people.
Yeah.
And you've been along for the ride. And we have got some exciting stuff in store for season 2. So buckle up for that. And with that,
Janine, take us home, sis.